So no, I got this. So before we start the show, my co-host is shirtless. Um, I wanted to explain to the public that listens to us why he's shirtless. Apparently, he thinks this is his OnlyFans channel. Now, I appear shirtless sometimes online, but in the proper elements. I would never do this on a football show. I would do this on OnlyFans. That's where I do my shirtless activity. So explain to the people why you're shirtless before we get into this football talk.
I mean, I'm at the
You're at
beach
the beach.
right now. Everybody else is shirtless. I don't see the big deal.
Are the women shirtless?
Some of them.
Okay, he's at a nudist.
Yeah, it's not the type. It ain't it ain't the type of topless we like. I mean, but we don't judge.
No, we don't judge. We let everybody be free. Now explain to the people what the real reason why you're shirtless. You a freaky ass Scorpio and it's your season. Tell them. Tell them. You're a freaky ass boy and it's your zodiac sign.
Listen, man, I ain't wore a bunch of clothes in about a week. I don't know if that make me freaky or not, but
You was a freaky
I
ass
mean,
Scorpio. Scorpio's gonna do what Scorpios do. Everybody else, can carry out their birthday festivities in a respectable fashion. You people just have to be naked, touching other people, probably multiple people.
whoa, 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 no, Diddy, no Diddy.
Isn't Diddy a Scorpio? Or did I have to make that up?
He is,
Wow.
he is, he is a good deal.
Let's get to the show.
All right, man. So while they out here arresting dudes for illegal gambling in basketball, they need to arrest whoever set this line in this Bears game, Q. It's Thursday while we're recording this, and the Ravens are a touchdown favorite against the Bears. Explain that shit to me.
I can explain it with one word: disrespect. Never have I ever seen a 4-2 team, regardless of being home or the road, meet a 1-5 team and be a touchdown underdog. It is time for us to put a belt to ass. Not necessarily because the Ravens are our enemies, they're not even in our division, but because Vegas is our enemies and are expecting us. They playing in our faces right now. I need everybody to go and lay some money down on the Bears covering because that's ridiculous. I have no problem if Vegas feels the Ravens are going to beat the Bears. That's cool. We just came from Washington. Well, to each his own. That wouldn't be as disrespectful if it was a pick 'em or the Ravens were a 1-point fave or 2-point fave. But to have the Ravens a 1-5 team, I don't care what they've been dealing with this season. They're 1-5. And what does Bill Parcells always say? You are what your record says you are. And right now, the records of the Ravens, they're not a good team. So they have to be treated like a not good team.
We talked about on the last two episodes, how the national sports media, they be fucking with Chicago. They do not give us our respect. If you thought, and if you thought I was being a dick, if you thought I was whining about that last episode, here you go. Here you go. There was no reason why the Bears should have been only a 4-point favorite against the Saints, Spencer Rattler, and there's no reason they should be a touchdown dog going to see the Ravens. Before we review the game, Q, there was a question out there that I wanted to get answered before we even get too far. How do you feel about this 4-2 start versus last year's 4-2 start?
Much more optimistic. And I can't lie, I was optimistic last year. But there was never a point in my optimism where I felt like Matt Eberflus is a long-term answer to head coach. So even with the Bears having a 4-2 start and possibly being on the playoff radar, it was an uneasy feeling. I didn't want Matt Eberflus leading us into this new era of Bears football. This 4-2 start, I feel much more confident. I feel we have a better, not just head coach, a better overall coaching staff. And I feel like the team is in much better hands. So I'm much more optimistic about this 4-2 start. I don't feel this is a flash in the pan, or if we lose against the Ravens, our season will go in the tank. If that's the case, after the 0-2 start and losing badly against the Lions, this team responded well. So I like the resolve of this team a lot better than the last 4-2 start we saw.
I agree with that. The 4-2 this year feels a little different, even though we stacking bodies. We stacking zombies. They already was dead. We just putting them in the ground for eternal peace, right? I feel like the direction for this team is a lot more clear. A lot of that stuff with Eberflus, even though like last year we destroyed the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, which is a big win. Caleb had a great day. And you want to show that on long road trips. Winning games on long road trips, it shows the type of maturity and where your team is. However, that didn't last for last year's team. This year, the Bears have gotten a bunch of road wins. They, as you already pointed out, they came back. They fought back from 0-2. It easily could have folded up at 0-2 and said, you know what? It ain't for us right now. We got a bunch of injuries, whatever. We can't do it. No, they fought back. They won tough game after tough game, and at that one game that everybody has circled against the Commandos, and they gutted that out too. This year, even though they have the same record, I am a lot more optimistic just because the building blocks are a lot more solid than the ones we had last. The Bears are 4-2. They are riding the 4-game winning streak, while the Ravens are riding the 4-game losing streak coming out of their bye. I don't want to get ahead of myself and making every game huge, but it is, Q. This is a big game. And why is it a big game? Because this game is the Ravens season.
Yeah.
It's a playoff game for them. Single game elimination for them. If the Bears don't meet that level of desperation that the Ravens are going to have, if they don't guard their chin and fight back and swing until they get swung on, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah. You're definitely going to get the Ravens' best punch. You're probably going to see the Ravens at the healthiest they've been since week 1 or 2. Last I saw, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, and Lamar Jackson are trending in the right direction. And those are 3 huge players. Those are all pro level players. So they're getting the influx of talent back. They're at the 1-5, like you said. They're going to be desperate. They're going to be desperate. And even though the Bears are 4-2, you get the feeling around the NFL. It's just not the betting public that doesn't respect the Bears. I got a feeling that opposing good teams don't respect the Bears. They probably the Bears. We've seen the Bears 4-2 before. We've seen them 4-2 last year. They probably don't feel the Bears are a contender. They probably feel this is their get right game. You get to 2-5, and you mosey on down and fix your season. And at 2-5, the Ravens could be either 2 or 3 games behind in the division. I still think they got the Steelers twice, who lead the division. So they're probably feeling like this is the game to get themselves right. And on the flip note, the Bears are 4-2. As we saw last year, we were 1 second away from being 5-2. Now, 5-2, 4-3 is a 1-game difference, but it is a huge difference in terms of preparation for the second half of the season. A team that's 4-3 is still fighting, clawing for the playoffs. I'm not saying 5-2 is a lot, but when you get to that 5-2 mark, you're kind of over that. You're out of the middle of the pack fighting for playoffs. Now you're fighting for a higher seed. You're possibly fighting for a home playoff game. You get to 5-2, and you're 7 games deep into the season. If you just go 5-5 the rest of the way, you're at 10-7. 10-7 pretty much is a lock for getting in the playoffs. So a 5-2 record as opposed to 4-3 is a huge difference. Huge difference. So I think 5-2, you can start getting more optimistic about seeing playoff football in Chicago. Seeing football after the first weekend of January is something we haven't seen in a while in Chicago. So that would be exciting. So this game is very important for the Bears too. This is not a game where we can say, well, loss doesn't hurt as much. You start looking at the NFC playoff picture, and you don't want to be in that mud.
Big game. Let's talk injury report. Even though the Ravens are 1-5, and a lot of their reasons for being 1-5 is they've been a very hurt team. I think that's been talked about ad nauseum all over the place. But the Bears come into this game with 14 players on the injury report. I think that's double what the Ravens have on their injury report. Wednesday, we had 3 DNPs. That was Roshan, Cole Kmet, and Tyreek Stevenson. Thursday have 5 of them. Sean, Cole Kmet, Tyreek Stevenson, in addition to Joe Thuney and Braxton Jones.
I'm sorry, when did he get hurt? Doing what?
That's a good question. They say he's on an injury report with a knee. How do you get hurt not playing?
Maybe he bent the knee to Theo Benedict.
Tremaine Edmonds, Tyler Gordon, DJ Moore, Brandon Swift, Austin. They are all limited on Thursday. You got Austin Booker, Grady Jarrett, Aaron Santos, and Nashawn Wright. They were all 4 participants on Thursday. So we can already assume that Grady Jarrett's returning. We can assume that Carlos Santos is returning. But the name I want to talk about the most, Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah.
So Tyreek Stevenson, if you read between the lines and just pay attention to how he's been talked about late this week in the press conferences, it don't sound like he's going to play on Sunday. No. Is that a big or a little deal, Q?
Big deal. Big deal. You already don't have Jalen Johnson, so you're down 2 of your starting outside corners. And I think Nashawn Wright has played well given the circumstance. He was a guy that he wasn't on the roster. The Bears picked him up off the free agent scrap heap a little before training camp or a little after mini camp. Can't remember which one. But he's done a good job, all sources considered being. He's been picked on a couple times, but to make up for it, he's made some big plays, got his hand on a couple picks, got a pick 6 in week 1. Almost had a pick 6 last week against the Saints. Took a funny little angle, and he was mad at himself. You could tell when he went out of bounds because he definitely should have. He should have angled that on the run back a little bit better because I think he would have got past Spencer Rattler. I think that's a big deal. You definitely need Tyreek. He showed up big this year, and really a make or break year for him, and he's made it. Only bad game he had was against the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of picked on him, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to do that to a lot of corners in the league. So that's a big deal because now you really have to adjust and you have to reach deep because I don't know who's going to be the next outside corner because the guy who would be backing up Tyreek and Jalen, Terrell Smith, as you recall, got hurt in preseason, messed up his knee. So I don't know if you're going to move Josh Blackwell outside. He's more of an inside corner. I don't know if Trey Flowers comes from the practice squad. I don't know if Kyler Gordon ends up moving outside. I would prefer Kyler Gordon to stay inside because you're going to see Zay Flowers work a lot from the inside from that slide. He's very dangerous after the catch. And I like Kyler Gordon close to the line of scrimmage for against the run and blitzing. So I'm not really sure what the Bears do now. You're down 3 outside corners. You know, it's kind of hard for any team to reach their 4th and 5th corner. If you want to make a comparison of would I rather have Tyreek Stevenson or TJ Edwards or Montez Sweat, now that we can get into debate. I want all my bullets out there, especially since the Ravens are going to be hungry. And Rashard Bateman, like you said, is capable of making big plays. Yeah, Tyreek Stevenson, I will say I'm a little bit alarmed by him not being there. And it's not just because Tyreek Stevenson. It's because of the depth of the corners is shrinking. You're now going to be playing a guy who's probably off the practice squad or a guy who's a special teams guy. Or you're moving. I don't like the idea of moving Kyler Gordon outside. So that is a big deal in that regard. And Zay Flowers is going to probably do a lot of his work for the slot anyways. But yeah, I definitely don't want to see DeAndre Hopkins have a vintage game. I don't know if he's capable of having that at this stage of his career. But I'm sure the one good thing is the Ravens are a run-dominated team and they're at their best. So, but Lamar can take shots down the field. So, and like you said, Bateman is capable of a couple big plays. So, I personally am a little concerned.
Speaking of Lamar, for the Ravens, no name on their injury report is more important than Lamar Jackson. He's missed the last 3 games dealing with his hamstring injury. His status for this game is still up in the air. He may or may not play. But I will tell you this. The touchdown favorite that Vegas has the Ravens, that assumes to me that they expect Lamar Jackson back. But if he is back, he hasn't played in a month. I don't know if he'll be his usual Lamar Jackson, what we know Lamar to be at his peak. I don't know if that's the quarterback the Bears will see. But even if that's so, if he's 75, 85, whatever %, he's better than Cooper Rush. We can agree to that point, right?
if he's 50%, he's better than Cooper Rush. And no disrespect to Cooper Rush, we're talking about an MVP as opposed to a guy who Cooper came from Dallas, right? Mid round, lower round pick. Yeah, no disrespect to Cooper, but yeah, there's a big difference.
All right, so Lamar has the best rating in the league at 130. He doesn't qualify to really play enough games, but if he did, 130 would be far and away the best. He's second in the NFL in yards per completion, and he has 10 touchdowns on the season, passing touchdowns on the season to only one interception. His counterpart, Caleb Williams. He has 9 touchdowns on the season to 3 interceptions and a 92 rating, which is below average. Just slightly ahead of CJ Stroud and your boy, Justin Fields. Like, it's scary how close the numbers are.
I think when you look at that, that's quite misleading because there's times where Justin Fields has been, and Justin is my boy, but he's been, especially the last 3 appearances he's made, where he's been quite ineffective. Like not even being able to get the ball off. Just taking sacks and yeah. So I think that quarterback rating there is very manipulative because I think Justin Fields had a spectacular rating in Week 1. And I think that's kind of carried him because he missed half of the Bills game. He was benched in the last week, and then I think he missed a full game. So I think that quarterback rating is largely contingent on the first week and a half where he played his best football.
I've watched Justin the last couple of weeks. He has not been good. However, I've watched Ted the last couple of weeks. He ain't been good either. But we ain't got to get dove deep into that matrix because that's not the point of this episode. And in fact, as far as comparing quarterbacks altogether, let's not even do that. Let's not waste our time comparing Caleb to Justin. Let's not waste our time comparing Lamar to Caleb. One has a long way to go to be in the same conversation as the other. So hopefully Lamar can one day be like Caleb Williams.
Bear down.
Let's talk Ravens offense versus Bears defense. The Ravens offense averages 24 points per game overall, and a significant concern is the Ravens' red zone percentage. Over the last 3 games for the Ravens, their red zone touchdown conversion percentage is 28.5%. That's 31st in the NFL. That's been an issue since Jackson has been out. For instance, last week, Q, I don't know if you watched that game. Derrick Henry, he rushed for 122 yards, but the team only still scored 3 points. Why? It just simply could not convert in the red zone. Speaking of Derrick Henry, he averages 77 yards in rushing yards per game. That's 5 yards per carry. The run game has been successful, and the return of Patrick Ricard, their fullback, that can possibly help their running game be even more successful down the stretch. In addition to Lamar Jackson coming back, if he comes back this week or any other point in the season, he averages about 40 some odd yards per game anyway. For the Bears, the story of their defense this season, and mostly through this 4-game win streak, is their turnovers that they force. They have 15 turnovers in the last 4 weeks. They are currently plus 11 in a turnover margin. They have 4 takeaways against the New Orleans Saints. That is a massive turnover rate. I don't know if you think the Bears can continue this going into this week. Do you think they can?
Well, that's largely dependent on what quarterback plays. I think it's a lot harder to turn Lamar over, especially through the air. How many interceptions did he throw last year? 4?
I think he threw. I think it was less than 4. I think it was like either 2 or 3.
Then I think he played about 16 games last year. So getting Lamar to make a mistake is much more difficult. You have a better chance of sacking him and getting a strip sack. So I don't anticipate the Bears getting multiple picks. I don't think you can anticipate even getting 1 pick. What you got to do is you got to be efficient on defense, get Lamar and the Ravens in 2nd and 3rd and longs, and speed him up in the pocket and make him throw underneath, and then rally to the ball and stop the receiver or running back who catches it. So you're going to have to rely on more sound defense. Lamar is not Spencer Rattler. He's not even Jaden Daniels. So those guys are going to give you more opportunities to, to get turnovers from sacks to interceptions. So the Bears defense has to be on its P's and Q's of Lamar plays. Even Lamar at 80% is still dangerous. He could probably outrun 95% of players even at 80, 85%.
You hit the nail on the head right there. He won't he won't throw interceptions like that, but that boy he will put it on the dirt from time to time. I mean that's been a thing with him too. The Bears defense, they capitalize well on takeaways. They have scored 4 touchdowns and 5 field goals after turnovers. Secondary has played very well recently. They have lowered their opposition's passer rating into the mid 90s after securing 3 interceptions last week. Baltimore is 31st in the league in passing offense, and they're 16th in the league in rushing offense. The Bears are 28th in rushing defense, sorry,
Sounds
and they're 17th against the pass.
okay.
But like I said, number 1 in takeaways. Just right now, Q, who do you think has the advantage? The Bears defense or the Ravens offense?
If we're talking about a fully healthy Ravens offense, I got to go Ravens offense. They're just too explosive from Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Even though Mark Andrews isn't playing his best football, even him, he can still attack the seams and make big vital catches deep down those seams. So fully healthy, I got to edge the Ravens.
Yeah, when Lamar starts, even though the Ravens offense is averaging only 24 a game, when he starts, they're averaging in the 30s. So I'm not mad at that. If you're edging their offense over the Bears defense, I mean, they're pretty potent. And like we already said, Tyreek may not play. Already down Jalen Johnson on the outside. So even though I don't expect to get beat over the top too often from the Ravens offense, they can get you they can eat you up in the middle. They play a lot of 13. Mark Andrews is a beast still. Isaiah Likely, he's back. And Zay Flowers, he is a chess piece that a lot of teams would love to have an outside in the slot. They can do some things. And as we already talked about, they got Derrick Henry, probably the last running back Hall of Famer you'll ever see. So
Wow. Saquon and Jameer Gibbs have entered the chat and they are not happy. Bijan's knocking at
I stand by what I said. You got to see more.
That is a conversation for another
see more.
podcast on another day that we're definitely going to have to address.
I'm ready for it. So I'm gonna agree with you, Q. I would edge healthy Ravens offense over the Bears defense. But does that mean I'm taking the Ravens to win this game? Shall see. Let's talk on the other side of the ball. Let's flip it around one time. Ravens defense versus the Bears offense. And now, while we're talking about the Bears offense, should we add Moody to this segment since he's doing a majority of the scoring lately?
I prefer to leave kickers where they're at. Special teams, not exactly football players. They're kickers. The great Bill Parcells, who I reference a lot, had one of the funniest but realest quotes. He's on the field 90 minutes before a game, getting the injury report and who's gonna go and who's not gonna go. And he asks the trainer, "Is the kicker gonna go?" And he says, "I don't think he's gonna be able to play today." And Bill Parcells' response says, "I don't need him to play. I need him to kick. He's not a player." So, no disrespect to Moody, he's a kicker and he kicks. So, no, I don't want to put him in the office. I want to leave him right where he's at, special teams.
Fair enough. The Ravens defense is not good. Period. No team in the league has given up more points than the Ravens. They're allowing more than 32 points a game. Remember I said when Lamar Jackson has played, the Ravens are averaging 30. I think they're averaging 31 points. Defense is giving up 32, no matter who's the quarterback. They probably gave up 32 on their bye week too. The defensive numbers, you can chalk a lot of that up to injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Matabuke, one of the best down linemen, three techniques in the league. He's out for the year. He's been gone since I think week 2. Roquan has missed the last couple of games. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safeties in the league, probably the best safety in the league. He's missed a couple of games. Marlon Humphrey missed a couple of games. It's not been very consistent on that side of the ball for the Ravens. But I'm not gonna cry them a river. The Bears have injury problems. Every other team has injury problems. Kansas City, Detroit, still got to get things done. Injuries is not an excuse to be 1-5. The Ravens defense, they have the second worst run defensive grade in the NFL this year. They're giving up 4.7 yards per carry against opposing running backs. Roquan Smith is anticipated to return this week, and he's playing the Bears for the first time in his career since he got traded. It's gonna be emotional for him. Maybe we can capitalize on those emotions. But nobody he played with is still. Well, I don't know. He still has some teammates on the squad, don't he?
Uh,
Cole Kmet and
Kyron
maybe a couple of others.
was here when he was
Yeah,
here. Jalen Johnson was here when he was here.
yeah.
Uh, that's really about it. Yeah, that's about it.
If he wants to like make a statement, I mean, he would be making against players that didn't
Oh,
have any.
Matt,
Mostly players who ain't got nothing to do with them.
he played with Cole Kmet. He played with Braxton Jones. There's a few more because
Yeah,
Roquan got traded. He made it to the Ryan Poles era. He made it to midseason in the Poles era. Yeah, play with Kyler Gordon. There's a couple of players he's still familiar with on that team. I think Josh Blackwell was there. Yeah, there's a few players still that were there when he was there.
a smattering of players. He's not basically the point I'm making is if he wanted to make a point, he'll be making it against players and a coaching staff that ain't got nothing to do with none of that. We wasn't even here when you was here, bro. Ryan Poles, though. I mean, if you want to look up into the executive suites and put
That's
up a finger,
that's where he'll focus his energy at.
yeah, focus your energy up there and not on the field. We'll appreciate that, Roro. Still one of my favorite. Still, in my opinion, best linebacker in the game. But it's bear down right now. He could help their running attack become a little bit better. But the last time I saw him play, he was getting destroyed. He was not taking on blocks. He was getting swallowed up. Hey yo, um, by a lot of fat boys. So maybe he helps. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. We shall. So the Ravens are also struggling to generate pressure and cover receivers. They only have 8 sacks on the season. Uh, they have a below average pass pressure rate. The secondary, they're allowing 246 passing yards per game and a rating of 100. Caleb didn't make that promise for me last week when I said he should have a great game against New Orleans Saints. This secondary and the Baltimore Ravens is the same secondary that he saw against the Saints. I would love for him to double back and get. He didn't get 5 against the Saints. You can get 5 against this defense, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse. C.J. Stroud, your boy, another Ohio State guy. He put 4 touchdowns on the secondary, 34 points.
The entire against everyone else.
Yeah, yeah, he's mid against everybody else, but he put 4 touchdowns on them. They beat the Ravens by 34 points. Ravens secondary has been so bad. Marlon Humphrey, his head not even on football right now. I don't know if you saw it, but he talking about going on a nationwide glizzy tour. He just wanted to gobble glizzes in every state in the union. That ain't what football players should be talking about in October. But if that's what they own, let's help them get to their offseason desires. Bear down.
Bear down.
So, as I'm speaking about the run game for the Chicago, for the run defense for those Ravens, let's talk about the run game for the Bears. It's been carrying the offense the last few weeks. DeAndre Swift been crazy, back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, 14 explosive runs over the last 2 weeks. No other team has more than 10. Calvin Ungai also had a career best 81 yards last week. The Bears put up 222 rushing yards against the Saints. Offensive line has been much better since they put Braxton Jones on the pine. And like I said, the Ravens, second worst run defense in the NFL. Do you think Ben and them have fixed the running game and we can see a third straight dominant performance from Swift Calendar?
I think they have. I think they have fixed the running game, and I expect the running game to continue trending upwards. The Ravens haven't been good defensively at all. And I know they got a lot of names there and a lot of guys that are playing, but I can't look at the back of the jersey when I evaluate the defense. I got to see exactly what they're doing. Roquan Smith has not been playing like Roquan Smith. If you cover up the back of the name and the number, Roquan does not look like a very good linebacker. In fact, Roquan would be a guy that if I was a fan of the team and just judge him and did not know his history, I would want Roquan benched. I would want him out of the starting lineup. The Ravens secondary lacks communication. There are a lot of good names there. There's a lot of big names there. Even with Kyle Hamilton and who else was hurt? Humphrey. Even with them down, um, you got a guy like Zaire Alexander there.
Yeah.
You got the young guy Malachi Starks, who was a guy that I looked at coming into the draft as a guy. Oh, I would love him to be on the Bears. He's a ball hawking safety. He could play down in the nickel. He could even play down in the box, even though he's not a big guy. He could play, in a deep zone, cover the deep half. But that's not what they're playing like. They're not living up to the names on the back of their jerseys. I don't think that mid-season, when you've been playing like hot doodle trash, you just could flip the light switch in 1 week. Even though now they are coming off a bye, so I'm sure they could have corrected a lot of good things, a lot of things. Hell, the Bears came off the bye and they start running like madmen. But I think there's a limit to what you can fix in season. I think the Bears offense needs to jump on the Ravens defense quickly, get a couple scores up, make the Ravens less dimensional, well, one dimensional. You don't want to get into a late game scenario when Derrick Henry is very much in play. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't want to see him stiff arming Tyler Gordon um or Nashawn Wright into hell. I don't want to see him running over Tremaine Edmonds. I just rather not see that. Kevin Byard is getting up there in age. He's a very willing tackler. He's willing to be physical in the run game, but I don't want to see Derrick Henry getting to that second level and putting poor Kevin Byard on his helmet or on his butt. I don't have confidence in a lot was
The player,
you know they act you
the player, you
they I don't know if you've seen some of these memes about what would you rather do, pros versus Joes. I feel confident. I've played football before. I've played it at beyond the high school level. I've tackled a lot of guys. Pause. No Diddy. Um, I wouldn't feel confident with Derrick Henry barreling towards me. I wouldn't duck a lot of smoke. I feel like I could bring a lot of running backs down if it was led to that. I feel confident in the shape I am as a man. I would not. I would attack Derrick Henry's ankles. I would not give a good form tackle at all. Even though those guys are professional football players, I don't want them in the open field with Derrick Henry with a full head of steam.
the player you should have mentioned was Jaquan Brisker. He the one to be in the box, and he the one that got the he got the issues. You don't want to see him get thrown around.
But
That's his season.
here's, here's the thing. Kwani is in the box, and you're a lot better off tackling Derrick Henry before he gets that head of steam. Now, if I was faced with the opportunity or there was some type of bet prop where they asked, where would you want to tackle Derrick Henry? Put me along the line of scrimmage where he can't destroy me that much. Get me in the box where there's a lot of traffic. Maybe he has to make a quick juke and he doesn't have a head full of steam. Kevin Byard is back there playing deep safety. By the time he sees Derrick Henry, Henry is angry and he is focused and he has about 20, 25 yards, including the 6 yards deep he's in the backfield of running. No, I don't want Kwani to meet with Derrick Henry, but I feel confident that when Kwani meets with Derrick Henry, it'll be a gang tackling situation, or Derrick Henry won't have a full head of steam. He'll be redirected, and Kwani could kind of clean him up and avoid those stiff arms. And possibly, with the way Derrick Henry's been fumbling, maybe reach in there and put his head on the line. Sorry, Kwani. You know what? No, because you're right. The next concussion, that might be the end of Kwani. Well, you're right. Kwani,
Will we draft? Will
he's been brave this year. Kwani's been getting his nose dirty. He has not shown any side effects from that concussion. But Kwani, if you got to make a business decision, this time I would understand. Make a business decision. Close shop if you see Derrick Henry barreling your way. Go after the ankles. Don't do nothing with that upper body. You remember you old too, and you enjoyed another birthday. This is 44, 45.
I'm not the mag.
Okay. Okay.
I'm the caliber.
Okay, you've reached the age. I know you're a millennial, but you've reached the age where you're not going to expose your actual age. So I respect that. Um, but just for the show purposes, we'll place you in your mid-40s. So you're old enough to have watched Deion Sanders and saw what he did. You're old enough to have watched Deion
I
Sanders
did.
and saw what he did, and you know Deion was not going to get a concussion or a separated shoulder from taking on any running back because he just wasn't going to do it. He was going to take your ankles out. Kwani, take the ankles out. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody.
How about this? Just put the pillow helmet on. I would feel confident if you
Well,
play
some
football
back injury
this week with the
damn
pillow helmet.
helmet. I don't know.
Well, you're right. Roshan keep getting hurt, and he wear it.
I'm tired of Roshan. You got a pillow on your head and your back not practicing. Roshan, it's been real, man. Don't come back. Go start your career elsewhere. I'm tired.
He will make a great insurance salesman. Let's talk passing. Caleb Williams in the passing game. Caleb Williams has played a. Would it be wrong if I said he's played a complementary role while the run game has succeeded the last few weeks?
Not at all. He's definitely played a complimentary role. Some of the best things I've seen from Caleb the last 2 weeks has been turning around and handing the ball off to DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai. That's been one of his most explosive plays, and I'm sure Tip is somewhere giddy hearing this. But yeah, that's been Caleb's best work. It's been turning around and handing the ball off.
Against the Saints, his passing game was, I'm gonna just say it, brutal. I was in the building for it. I'm
Yeah,
watching it, and I couldn't even defend it against all the Bears fans who are like incels or whatever. They were dogging him. I couldn't even defend him because it was brutal. It was terrible. I had an up close view of it. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He only threw for 172 yards, killed my parlay. No touchdowns, and he had one interception. Which you said in the review,
killed
terrible.
panic. True, Caleb, you really didn't get to the point. I went from 2 to 5 because of you.
He killed me in 2 leagues. 2 leagues. I took the L in 2 leagues because in one of them he helped you. He helped you in one league.
He
He
did,
helped you in one.
definitely did.
That was probably his. I don't think it's his worst game in his career, which says a lot.
No.
But
Titans the season opener was pretty brutal.
I think he had a worse game than that. I think the next week. No, actually no, it was better. No, his game against the Cardinals last year and against the Patriots last year and against the what was that Thursday night game? The Seahawks. All three was worse than this. But this was easily his worst of this season.
No question. I don't want
hmm
it again.
He's still go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to see it again, and I'm not going to see it again.
No,
I texted Benjamin
you're right.
earlier. He said absolutely not.
Because after we get done giving the belt to the Ravens, you have to put belt to him if he don't get his act together. But he's still showing them flaws. Like I think you said, he looks like he's regressing. His running outside or backwards when you should be, keeping your eyes on the field, pressing the pocket, stuff like that, but not getting rid of the, not knowing when the play is over and just getting rid of the ball. It's
The lack of decisiveness. Like I thought on week 1 when he didn't see it and he decided to get upfield and use his legs. I applauded that. Hey, I'll
Mhm.
take a positive gain. If you can get 8 to 15 yards a pop, I'm okay with that. Against the Saints, there were times he got out of the pocket. He still didn't see it for whatever reason and just strung the play out and we got an incompletion. Hey dude, get outside the pocket, get decisive. You don't see anything by the time you get out the pocket, run. I'll take 7 yards every time. Live to fight another down.
Like I said a couple of episodes ago, his superpower was supposed to be his ability to scramble and throw whiles on the run and make explosive plays. But that's been terrible this year. This last game, I'm bringing it back up again. He did that. He's left the pocket, trying to throw on a run. He missed Rome by like a good 4 yards to the wide. Right on the sideline that I was on. It was just brutal. He's admitted as such that he's struggling in that department. This week, the Bears face a Ravens defense that it poses a great opportunity for them to get back right. Well, at least not get. Let me not say get back right because they are on a 4-game win streak, but it poses an opportunity for them to hit on all cylinders. Um, I laid out why the Ravens defense has not been good. Bears at least their one part of their offense has been exceptional the last couple of weeks. But if the Bears are going to reach the heights that they need to, they cannot be winning games in spite of Caleb. It's cool to win games while your quarterback isn't, isn't where you expect him to be. We've lived through that. Our entire Bears fandom. Kyle Orton, Grossman, Caleb Heine, well, all them guys in the '90s. Well, not let me. I'm gonna put Eric Kramer into this. What's my boy name? Shane Matthews. We've won games while quarterbacks have been mid to ass. We don't want to do that anymore. That's the point of having drafting Caleb number one. We are expecting you to unlock something and put this team on a pedestal, put this team at the top of the league. It's cool right now because it's October, but we expect this thing to not linger on too much longer. Am I right?
It can't. One of the things that I caution people of, I don't know if I discussed this on the show, Caleb Williams' growth in this offense, whether people like it or not, and I'm sure Tiff is going to hate me saying this, it's not going to be linear. There are going to be steps back. But despite my acknowledging that there will be steps back, I'm going to need progress too. So I can't see 3 straight of average to mid play or below average to mid play. So this has to be the game where he connects, where he clicks. Again, he's a young quarterback. This is his first year under center. It's a big adjustment, you know. And I know people are like, "Well, it's quarterback and you're throwing the ball." Well, the difference is when you're in shotgun, you're facing the defense the whole time. You're scanning the field the whole time. Under center, there's different checks. One thing about being under center is when the ball is snapped, you are turning your back to the defense. So you're anticipating where guys are going to be a little bit more. It's a little different. Your back is to the weak side where the X receiver is going to line up. So you're anticipating a little bit more. So I understood there was going to be growing pains for Caleb, but yeah, it's time to show the growth. I've had enough pain. I need to see growth this week.
Let's make our predictions. I think it's easy to just go ahead and say, even though people are getting locked up behind gambling right now, I think this is an easy pick for those gamblers who are still free, right? Who's still free to make picks. The Ravens are 6.5 point faves. Once they announce Lamar Jackson is playing, I expect that line to go up a tick, maybe to 7.5. The Bears are covering. Whether they win or not is irrelevant. The Bears are covering at 7. 6.5, 7.5. Buy it up even more if you like. The Bears are covering that. Am I tripping? No Bear bias. Am I tripping that the Bears are covering that 7.5? There's no way to get drug up out of there by a 7. A 1-5 team. It's not drafting the Bears by no touchdown.
This NFL season, I've made several parlays, and one team usually pisses the bed in a parlay, or one player. Um, I would feel very confident taking the Bears to cover that 7.5. Yes, not tripping at all. Just looking at the growth of the Bears from week to week, how their defense is playing, the potential of their offense. I would definitely take the Bears to cover the 7.5.
I think the game is going to be close. Just for simple fact, the Bears have played close games. Other than 2 games this season, the Bears have all had close games. The Ravens, as we spoke about earlier in the episode, the Ravens are playing desperate. This is a playoff game for them, single game elimination. They're 1-5. They can't afford to, with the schedule that they have coming up, they cannot afford to lose any more games. They cannot afford to waste any more times. I do believe that the Bears are prepared. As we saw coming out when they came out of their bye, this is a new era. They will be prepared. They will meet the moment. They will not let the Ravens be the more prepared, more emotional, more determined team. They will meet them right where they stand and get it and serve them that fate that they're looking for. I have the Bears winning. The Bears scoring 30 because I think Caleb gets snaps out of it. Bears got 30. Ravens 27.
I'm gonna be the voice of dissent, maybe. Ravens
That
playing
sucks.
desperate level. I'm sorry, but we got to give We got to give the people something to talk about. We can't always bear down as much as we want to bear down, even though we're going to be bearing down in February, whether the fans know it or not. But there's going to be some
Hell
bumps.
yeah.
There's going to be bumps on the road. I anticipate this being one of the bumps. Not many more bumps coming. I'm going Ravens 31-28 and a thriller.
Don't like a lot of bumps,
Don't like a lot
but
of.
I do like thrillers.
I like thrillers. Sometimes, when you have a thriller, you end up with a bump. Go see your doctors, people. Go see your doctors. Any bumps below the waist, they're not normal. Go get them checked out. And just because you got it in a moment of love doesn't mean you need to spread that love. Please keep your love to yourself if you have a bump. Lips, crotch,
Or
or at least
or wrap that love up.
wrap that love up or spread that love to other people who have your same condition. We're just getting pandemic. We got to be more responsible with our cooties. Be responsible with your cooties. Take your don't be one of these anti-scientist people denying all the hard work and progress that we've made out of Kemet, out of Europe, out of Western science and philosophy over the last 2 to 3 thousand years. Don't be afraid of medicine. Bill Gates is not going to reduce the population by 90%. That serves him no purpose. He's wealthy. He needs a lot more of you stupid people to live so he can make his money.
Hmm. That's true. Capitalism does not survive without a working class. Why would they kill off all the workers? That's
Survive without
dumb.
stupid people. And a lot of you are stupid. They're not trying to kill you, they need you.
Hmm. Hmm. While we're talking about thrillers, Q, it is the season. Happy Halloween, everybody. Put on a bear mask and go scare somebody
What are you going to be for Halloween?
responsibly. I may just put on a bear head and just,
Bear. Be a bear.
you know what? It's almost the holidays. I do need to start watching my money. I might just go buy some $1 fingernail polish and put on an 18 jersey. Sir, that's a good costume.
You'll be hated for no reason.
Oh, yes, yes. No reason, but I would expect it. what what you got? What you got for Halloween?
What do I got for Halloween? I don't know. I think I kind of would be Wolverine. I don't know. Maybe is that too common or too gimmicky? I hate the Halloween costumes that are too trendy. Everybody was well, all the girls were Harley Quinn a few years ago.
I hated that.
And then they were all Chucky a
Hated
couple
that.
years ago.
Hated that.
Is that a good one? Wolverine?
Old man Logan.
Old man Logan. I could pull it off.
All
I
you,
I got the
all
script.
you need is a jean jacket. Yeah, jean jacket. What's them shirts? Jean jacket, some dye, and a limp. You got that. Oh, an eye patch.
I could hook that up.
Easy, easy, and be a Canadian.
Big.
Easy costume.
You know what? I would bring great pride to that Omega level mutant that Wolverine is.
He's not an Omega level.
He's an Omega.
Not an Omega mutant. Not an Omega mutant. Not an Omega mutant. Omega overrated.
Oh,
But that's it.
wow, disrespect. You sound like a Cyclops fan.
Scott was right.
Scott definitely would be MAGA if he definitely would be a.
No, Scott's a freedom fighter. He would not be MAGA.
He would
Would he? No.
he would have a Charlie
No.
Kirk freedom shirt.
Scott is Antifa. He's an Antifa leader if I ever seen one.
You know what? I give you that. Captain America definitely would be the MAGA man.
Oh, no. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's Captain America would definitely. You know what? Not Cap. Tony Stark. Tony Stark would definitely be out there. Hey, you know what? Let's just hear both sides.
Tony's definitely
Tony Stark would hear.
a conspiracy theorist liberal. He's definitely left wing.
Is he? Is he? He's a war profiteer. Is he left wing?
Those liberals can be a little sneaky too.
True. I mean, right wing guys aren't always smart. So I mean, he's one of the smartest guys in the world.
The MAGA man putting together that amount of tech. No way. Stealing tech, yes.
Yeah.
Each other stealing tech, yes. Being the genius behind the tech, absolutely not.
Fair. Bear down, Q.
Bear down.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.